fellow Star Wars nerds, and welcome to Unlimited Content, the podcast where two brothers talk about all of Star Wars film and TV in chronological order on the internet as an excuse to hang out more. We're your hosts, Sam and Jack, and this week we're talking about The Clone Wars Season 3, Episode 8, Season 1, Episode 2, and Season 3, Episode 9. Evil Plans, Hostage Crisis, and Hunt for Ziro. We're jumping around in the timeline a little bit. Not in the timeline, but in the episode order, because
Indeed.
Clone Wars is weird like that sometimes. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. I love talking about Star Wars like we always do. It's very nice.
Always, every time. It's never been anything different. We've always talked about Star Wars.
Always talked about Star Wars.
And never anything else, and I love it.
Yep. This is just
because
Star Wars
who else
podcast.
what reason would we possibly have to talk about anything other than a Star War?
I don't know.
That's the premise of the podcast.
That's the entire premise. Always has been, always will be.
Yeah.
Never changes.
True.
Oh man, you know what else
Absolutely.
never changes? These bills.
What? Oh, no!
No!
Capitalism will be the downfall of us all. But in the meantime, we do have a way of staying afloat, and that is thanks to our sponsor, which
Who could it
luckily
be?
we do have a sponsor
The
this week.
sponsor who I do see. Can you help me guess this mystery?
Can you help me get... Yeah, we're sponsored by Zaboom Food.
Yes!
This week's episode of Unlimited Content is brought to you by drive-through car washes.
Ooh!
I think those are fun.
Those
It's like a little
fun.
amusement park ride going
Yep.
through it's like entering a magical wonderland. I went to a car wash yesterday.
Yeah.
That there was a point at which there were a bunch of flashing lights inside.
Oh.
My windshield was covered in suds and stuff, and it was just it felt like I was going through that one scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
But where it's really creepy.
The acid trip scene?
Yeah. It was a little anxiety inducing, but beyond that, the rest of it was great. I do have a clean car. Actually, this is fun because I in all the time that I've owned this car, I've never done a full interior clean of the car, a nice detailing and everything. And me and some friends went to a car wash yesterday. Took all our cars, and it's like a drive-through, but then there's also spots with where you can pull in, and there's vacuums and
Those are nice.
spray bottles and stuff. And so we helped each other clean cars, and I vacuumed out my whole car and threw away a bunch of trash that was sitting in my car, and cleaned the dashboard and the interior of the windshield, and now it's nice and clean, and it smells nice, and it's good.
Love.
Good. It was a fun time. One thing that I was surprised about. So this car is it's a 2012 Scion XB, and it belonged to Dad before me, and he bought it used. And I think he said at one point he had a theory that this car was originally owned by a smoker.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell of smoke anymore, but there is evidence. The AC system is kind of slow to start. And I know that Dad has just said that he's had a few problems with the car. It works fine for the most part. It's fine.
Yeah.
But he has he's more attentive to those sort of details. But one thing I did notice is that the ceiling of the car, the carpeted ceiling, was brown. And then I started vacuuming it, and it turned a light gray. It was oh, it's a different color.
Oh,
It's
that was a
so it looks
car.
nicer now.
Oh man,
Yeah.
gross.
So, but yeah, that was fun. It was a nice outing. Got to make my car all squeaky clean and nice, and it feels good in there.
Love that.
And hopefully I'll make it last, because I feel especially after I've cleaned something recently, whether it's my car or my room or something, I'm I feel I have a greater incentive to keep it clean.
Yeah.
Because it's, I don't know, it's easier to, keep a place clean that's already clean than to clean it again once it's gotten dirty. So it's
Correct.
it's keeping it that way.
Love it.
But yeah, so thank you to our sponsor, Drive-Through Car Washes,
And Zaboom Fu.
for sponsoring this episode and keeping us alive and clean.
Yes.
I don't know why I said alive. We're not going to die if we don't get sponsors. Just the podcast will die, ostensibly. But
Oh no.
Okay. Anyway, hey Sam, how's it going?
It's
How have
going
you
good.
been?
I am doing good. What have I been up to lately? Well,
Yeah, what have you been up to?
today I started playing
Uh-huh.
Undertale,
Ew!
and I am maybe 20 minutes into the game, so
Mhm.
don't have a lot of thoughts yet, but
Uh-huh.
it's very clever and witty, and I like it. which means I'm probably going to keep playing it. Yeah, it's just very, like, I don't know. I like the kind of, like, 8-bit kind of aesthetic of the game, and also just, like, how it's written, and, like, I don't know. I can see why people like it just 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
It's very smart and funny and self-aware, and it also, like, has... So Undertale is one of my favorite games, like, probably top 5, definitely top 10, maybe top 5 games of all time for me. I love that game. So many great things to appreciate about it, so I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more about your experiences with the game. But yeah, the writing and the sense of humor is all great. The characters are just delightful, and you've just reached the end of, like, basically you're near the end of the opening kind of tutorial section. So you're in Toriel's house, and you get the pie, is what you told me.
Wait, her name's pronounced Toriel, and it's the tutorial. Oh, I get it now. I like never heard it said out loud, and now I'm no, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's excellent.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, once you leave this section, you'll meet some of the best characters in the game, and it never stops. You keep meeting more great characters. It's a great game. The music in this game is incredible. I mean, you've heard some of it already, but, like, you haven't heard, like, the best stuff.
Oh, sure. And, like,
it's amazing.
I have listened to some of your, like, you have some Spotify lo-fi playlists, and there's a lot of Undertale stuff on there. And even having never played Undertale, I know Undertale has good music. Just because of, like, those playlists have been, like, some of my, like, study and work playlists and stuff, and I enjoy it. So I know Undertale.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I listen to a handful of your playlists. Yeah.
Rad. I'm glad. I'm proud.
You should be.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Undertale. Excellent. It's also very, like, it's very heartfelt, and it's very well written, and like it tugs at your heartstrings. Definitely. Like, I'm excited to hear what your experience is with it. So
yeah, it feels like it's kind of Muppety humor in, like, the self-awareness, but, like, a little more serious.
I see that.
Like, a little more kind of, like, bigger in scale and scope, and it takes itself a little more seriously than Muppets, but not just enough to feel like it's taking itself a little more seriously, but not enough to, like, feel like intense and, you know, like, I don't think I'm using good words, but, like, it's, I don't know.
I get what you mean. Yeah. It has that sort of clever self-awareness. It's very tongue-in-cheek, and, you know, there's rarely a moment in these games where it's not, like, there's not a joke involved, where it's not, you know, like, it gets dark. There are definitely dark moments in Undertale, but, like, there's never, and it's pretty consistently funny, and I think it did a really good job of balancing, like, really, like, kind of silly, self-aware humor with more kind of serious or dark or heartfelt aspects, you know. So that's rad. Glad to hear you're playing that, enjoying that. What else have you been up to today's Easter?
Today is
that we're recording this on. How's your Easter been?
It has been good. We went to church this morning. We had bacon for breakfast before church, so it was yummy.
Delish.
Oh yeah, we love some bacon. And then came home. Marion took a nap. I did some tidying around the house. The weather's been absolutely perfect. So Sarah and I had some porch time. We've been doing our garden has begun again for this year. So we've got broccoli and peas and a bunch of different kinds of flowers planted right now. So that's all just seeds right now. We have broccoli, like, little plugs that we've planted, so there you can see the leaves, but everything else is just we've seeded this week. So I'm really excited about garden year 2 at the Ford house. But yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of, like, new and noteworthy things going on in my life that I want to talk about on the podcast. So, things are good. Things are good. How about you, Jack? What have you been up to?
I've been doing good. Today was a pretty I don't know that I would say low key day, but, like, I spent pretty much all day with friends. So that was nice. I had like a video call earlier with a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a while, who lives in Germany.
Whoa.
So we just had a chat. We like to. She's a game writer and developer, and we're good friends. And we had a good time chat about art and game development, and it, as usual, it veered into us talking about our mental health and therapy, because we just have a lot of kind of similar journeys in that sense. So
Sure.
So that was really fun to get to talk to her, get to talk to a friend. And then after that, I went over to my friend's apartment, and we hung out there for a good part of the day. And then we went to a couple like thrift stores. We went to a place called Austin Creative Reuse Center, which is
I like it already. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Yeah. It's a place where people, donate old, like, creative, like art supplies and stuff. So, like, yarn or fabric or whatever. Just miscellaneous craft supplies or old bits and bobs and trinkets and things. Yeah. And then they resell them for cheap to the community, and mostly for, like, art projects and whatever. But, so that was a cool place. I'd never been there before, and that was fun to go to. And then we went back to my friend's apartment, and I was like, I need to watch some Clone Wars for the podcast tonight. And they were like, we can just watch it here. I was like, you guys want to watch Clone Wars with me? So they're like, sure. So we watched today's 3 episodes together. So that was fun.
And what a silly arc to watch as well.
Yeah, it was very silly. It was a little all over the place, but it's a fun one.
Yeah. Do your friends listen to the podcast?
Occasionally. I have, for the most part, no. But, like, I think they'll know about the podcast. Okay, and they've all listened to at least a little bit of it, and one of my friends does listen fairly regularly, but is not, like, caught up, But
yeah, that's anyway. How, like, all of my friends are. They, like, know that it exists, and, like, yeah, I listened to a little bit of it. It's not my thing, but, like, it's great that you're doing it. Which sweet.
Yeah. They're very supportive. Yeah.
Yes. They're very supportive, not interested, but supportive.
Exactly.
I respect it.
So that was good. Yeah. I guess another thing is, yesterday, the same group of friends and I were hanging out all weekend, and yesterday we watched Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Ooh, which is the movie?
Yeah, the movie sequel to Final Fantasy VII. I have not finished Final Fantasy VII yet, but they were like, there's not a whole lot you need to know about, like, it's fine. And luckily they were kind of right. It's very much it doesn't feel like a whole movie. It just sort of feels like an excuse to have the characters get back together and do some cool fights. Nice. And it was like, it's all right. Like, yeah. So it's like, plot-wise, it's fine. It doesn't feel like a whole movie. It feels like a loosely connected series of epic anime fight scenes, which is great.
It's all I want. It's all I want.
Yes. Some amazing, crazy, over-the-top action sequences. People jumping off of things and flying around and using big swords and guns and whatnot.
As well,
that was super fun. Yeah. I'm getting Instagram messages from Jason.
Really?
Anyway, he sends me Star Wars related reels and stuff. Hi, Jason.
I think he sends me the same stuff too. Jason, we love you. Yeah. We have some voicemails from you later in the podcast. We do.
Jason's gonna be here in spirit,
and
in voice, but not in
from
live.
Recorded a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. But yeah, Advent Children. It was actually directed by Tetsuya Nomura, who was the lead character designer for Final Fantasy VII, but also the creative director for the Kingdom Hearts series. So
we love that.
Watching Final Fantasy VII Advent Children felt like watching a series of Kingdom Hearts cutscenes. Like kind of the big epic fight scenes in Kingdom Hearts. Like, it's very much of that same style, like over the top, like.
I love it.
It's excellent. It's great.
I love it.
There was just less. It was more gray, and there was less Disney things, obviously. But it was good. It was fun. See anything else that I did this week? Nothing of particular excitement or interest. Yeah. All right. Was there anything else you've been up to this week that you wanted to talk about, Sam, or was that kind of Like kind of any media you've been consuming?
I mean, other than Bad Batch and X-Men '97, it's kind of all I've been doing. Have you watched any of X-Men yet?
It's been on my list. I want to. I'm gonna start watching it this week. Is my plan.
Okay, good, good.
So
the first 2 episodes are fantastic. The third episode is good, but like I didn't walk away with like as like willing to run through a brick wall, excited about it as I was the first 2 episodes. You know, like
you weren't Kool-Aid Man excited.
I was not Kool-Aid Man excited. Still very excited. Still want more, but like the first 2 were just like. I don't know, that like the bar was like so high, and the third one is like, okay, we're just we're settling into like the main plot for the because I feel like the first 2 episodes are kind of like the triumphant return of this show, and it had to be amazing, and it was, and now we're just settled into like, okay, now we're in the plot of the season. So,
gotcha. Yeah,
it's good. I love it.
Cool. Yep. Well, you mentioned Bad Batch. We got a new episode of the Bad Batch this week.
Yes.
Exciting episode because this was the one where Asajj Ventress came back.
She's back.
So that was cool.
Yep.
She's back. And she's cool. She's got her cool hairdo.
She has her cool
hairdo. Yellow lightsaber.
Yes. And she's not so mean. She's kind of mean, but like not mean like she used to be.
She's grumpy.
She's grumpy. Yeah. She'll always be a little gruntled. You know.
she is slightly gruntled. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's good. And I saw somebody point out, and it kind of ties into our topic for today's episode. But so Asajj Ventress shows up for the first time in the Bad Batch in season 3, episode 9. You know who shows up in season 3, episode 9 of the Clone Wars that we watched today?
Quinlan Voss! Oh my god. You're right.
Yeah.
And they're a couple.
They're a couple.
They're a thing.
They're a thing. Yep, so that's fun.
Cute.
It's cute. I don't know if it's intentional, but I love it.
I feel like that's way too. I feel like there's no way that's intentional,
Correct.
But it's still cool.
Yes, but I just love it. It's like
that is nice. Yeah,
it rhymes even when you don't want to. Star Wars is a poet, and it didn't even know it. You know.
True. Didn't even know it. Yeah, I'm excited to see where the rest of the Bad Batch goes. I feel like that's probably all of Asajj that we're gonna get this season, unless she shows up like in the finale or something. It felt like a one-off thing because she just kind of left, you know.
She did. I don't know. They built her up so big in like all the promo stuff, so I feel like we're gonna get more.
I would like to get more.
Yes.
I don't know.
She did leave at the end of the episode, though, didn't she?
Yeah, she left. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere like somebody said like either Dave Filoni or somebody else from Star Wars officially was like, Asajj's like presence in the Bad Batch will be kind of like how this fits into the plot of Dark Disciple. Like that will be explained in other media at some point going forward, is what I remembered hearing.
Oh, but not in this series.
I mean, they didn't say. I think they said specifically like other stuff. Like in the future, it will be explained more. Like we'll see more of her in other things in the future. We just don't.
Got it.
My guess, my assumption is that means not in this season of the Bad Batch. So
yeah,
but we'll see.
Like what? So that kind of like leads me. So this is the final season of the Bad Batch, and it kind of like everyone's kind of Star Wars never like officially said this, but everyone online is kind of saying like this is the end of the Clone Wars era, and the end of the prequel era is the end of like Bad Batch. But like. One, I want to push back on that because no, it's not. Because I think I don't know. And like, but just like, where does Star Wars, like, because I feel like they would be remiss to just like give up on like the 15 years between like now in Star Wars and like the start of Rebels. Right, like there's so much in between. Like I want to see like a Kanan and Hera kind of backstory, something, or like
that'd be cool.
I don't know, just like how, like I want a prequel series to Rebels. It kind of shows how Phoenix Squadron kind of got, because we haven't seen how Phoenix Squadron kind of got started. They just kind of show up on Lothal, and Ezra's there. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know that. Like, I think the closest thing we have to that, I haven't read it, but there's a book called A New Dawn, which is like this. It's a prequel to Rebels about, like, I think specifically about Kanan and Hera.
Oh, okay.
So we have that, and it's canon. But yeah, no, I definitely, I would love to see how the Ghost Crew got together, and just in general, I agree with, like, I think that, you know, this is the final season of the Bad Batch, but I feel like they've been on such a roll with Star Wars animation lately that I feel like it would be weird to, like, for them to just stop doing Star Wars animation stuff. I would, my hope is that they announce a new series that is something else that is, you know, not necessarily a continuation of this story, but a continuation of this era in animation. You know, so we get more of that like, you know, early Imperial era stuff.
Right.
In the Clone Wars animation style, or with that, at least that, like, level of budget. You know, because they've gotten so good at it. It's all so beautiful and good, and I want them to keep making these shows. You know?
Right. So we're gonna get probably another, like, Tales of the Jedi, right? Do they say
I think that's confirmed. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they've confirmed there's gonna be a season 2 of Tales of the Jedi.
Cool. So I want something like that, which is gonna be great. But I also want, like, I don't know, like, also like an Ahsoka Fulcrum kind of thing. Could be cool.
Yeah,
because, like, that would be cool. It was kind of hinted at in her last Tales of the Jedi episode, and the E.K. Johnson Ahsoka novel gets more into Bail Organa recruiting Ahsoka during the book and stuff. So it just kind of brushes over and just, like, Bail shows up and he's here, and, you know, so
I would love it if we got, like, if we got a series that was essentially following Ahsoka in her early years as Fulcrum, and then maybe, like, near the end of that series we get a little bit of crossover with, like, Andor era stuff.
Yeah,
like, that'd be cool.
And I think it could be kind of a cool, like, I don't know, like kind of like, you could do, like, an Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress kind of show, kind of like two parallel. That would be cool. Like two.
I would love that buddy cop show.
Like, but like, not even buddy cop, but like two parallel stories happening around the same time, because they're both, because she's a former Sith and Ahsoka's a former Jedi, and they're both just kind of doing their own thing, like being movers and shakers in the galaxy, like, while just kind of being former members of these big ol', like, galactic mystical things, like, just off on their own.
That honestly, that sounds a lot like, I think that would be a good Tales of the Jedi season 2, honestly.
It would.
Although, I mean, I guess Asajj was never really a Jedi, was she? So, I don't know.
No.
But still, like, point is, I like that idea, because there are definitely parallels there.
Yeah.
Although, I do also like the idea of, like, one's a former Sith, one's a former Jedi. Now they have to share an apartment together. Wacky shenanigans ensue.
Yes.
I want the buddy cop series.
Yep.
Or the, you know. Anyway.
Yes. Also, another great thing could be, like, the formation of the Path that, like, Quinlan Voss started, that we kind of hear hinted about in Obi-Wan, and I think was supposed to be part of, I wonder if we're going to see that in Bad Batch Season 3. Because I think Asajj and Quinlan start the Path. And I think that maybe that's why Asajj shows up. Like, this isn't, like, this is all speculation on my part. None of this is spoiler for anything. This is just, like, because Quinlan started the Path. Asajj and Quinlan are a thing. And there was, like, in kind of, like, the description of Dark Disciple, one of the, like, episodes of the arcs that, like, the Clone Wars arcs was the Path or something. So I wonder if so that kind of just got my brain gears spinning about, like, what if that's kind of like the direction they go, and also with, like, Quinlan being name dropped as, like, one of the Jedi who was on the Path in Obi-Wan, that kind of thing. So I'm wondering if, because that would be cool if we got, like, Quinlan and Asajj and Ahsoka all kind of being part of the Path. You know?
That'd be cool. Honestly, that'd be cool, just a series called The Path, or, like, The Path of the Jedi or something. That's about, like, the underground railroads of the Jedi, of the Force-sensitive kids and whatnot. Like, that'd be a cool...
Yeah.
That would definitely be a cool series. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. And we could see other other Jedi kind of tied in, and also like have the Inquisitors be a part of it, and it'd be fun. There's a lot of stories that you build there.
I also just would love to hear more Ashley Johnson back as Ahsoka again.
Please. She's great.
You know? Yeah, so that would also be excellent. I also forgot what I was gonna say. Give me a second to reboot my brain.
This isn't going as planned.
Nothing to see here. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I would on a semi-related note, I would love to see a live-action Quinlan Vos at some point.
Yes, please.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool.
So I don't know what context that would be in, because I don't know, like,
I don't either.
Canonically when he dies anymore, because who knows? But like,
yeah.
Anyway,
because he was. Someone said he made a cameo in Obi-Wan. Was that right? Or it was just like he was like.
I think they just mentioned him in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I haven't watched Obi-Wan like a year and a half, so I don't remember. But I feel like in like the scene where Owen Lars and Obi-Wan are at the bar, and that one Jedi like is getting hunted down by the Inquisitors to try and flush out Obi-Wan on Tatooine or whatever. I feel like someone said like there was somebody with a yellow face tattoo in the crowd. I was like, maybe. I don't know.
I have to go back.
The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, I don't think that's right. But I don't know.
You know what would also be cool is, I mean, more Keller and Beck in general, but I think it would be cool to see an animated Keller and Beck in like Clone Wars style. You know,
that'd be awesome.
Tales of the Jedi, Keller and Beck. The whole
honestly,
season just about Keller and Beck. Incredible.
No, that probably not enough people know. I don't know. I do want Keller
I'd
Beck.
be into it.
I do want Keller Beck. I don't know if it'd be a good Tales of the Jedi. Just because I feel like it needs to be some.
Yeah. We I feel like we got the one coolest part of his story already in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So anyway. Yeah, I would just love to see more of him because he's just I love him.
He's the Ahmed best, so, you know. We love him.
He's the best of all the Ahmeds. he's the best Ahmed I know, personally. Yeah. I'm sure there are other Ahmeds out there that are great. I'm sorry to all other Ahmeds. I just particularly like this one.
Because his last name starts with best.
And is the best.
It is the best.
He's the best of all the rest.
He's the best.
That Ahmed best.
Around.
It's gonna keep me up. All right. Are we ready to move on to our main segment today, Sam?
I mean, I think our listeners are ready for us to move on to our main segment.
I think they're ready for us to stop singing. All right. So, as I said before, today we're talking about an arc that stretches across season 3 and 1 because it was just one of those weird ones where I guess they decided to tell the story out of order or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about The Clone Wars season 3, episode 8. Evil Plans, Season 1, Episode 2, Hostage Crisis, and Season 3, Episode 9, Hunt for Ziro. Sam, where do these episodes take place in the Star Wars timeline?
Great question. Is 21 BBY?
Thank you for saying it's a great question. I thought so too.
Yep. I'm glad you asked.
So, Evil Plans, Season 3, Episode 8. The moral of this episode is, a failure in planning is a plan for failure. Dang, true. All right, Episode 8, Evil Plans. An impenetrable results! Evil Plans! With the Jedi Council focused on the war effort, criminal minds are left unchecked to spread fear and corruption. Galactic gangster Jabba the Hutt has sent bounty hunter Cad Bane on a nefarious mission, which shall strike at the heart of the Republic. Meanwhile, the unsuspecting citizens of Coruscant go about their daily lives. Okay, plot begin. Padme is stressing out over arranging a state banquet, the most important one of the season, for Senator Aang. Despite... Is it Aang or Ong? How do they pronounce it in this?
Aang. Like the Avatar.
They pronounced it Aang? Like the Avatar. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements. Okay. Padme is stressing out over arranging a state banquet, the most important one of the season, for Senator Aang, despite Anakin's efforts to ease her mind. Senator Aang holds the deciding vote on the Military Oversight Committee, and Padme needs everything to be perfect. Her co-arranger C-3PO is helping to manage the details with the waiter droids sent to serve the party, and realizes that R2-D2 had forgotten the Jogan fruit 3PO asked him to get for garnishing the dessert. Jogan fruitcake, which is Aang's favorite. Padme asks Anakin to handle it, who sends their 2 droids together so they won't get lost or distracted, with 40 credits to buy the 4 Jogan fruit needed. At the market, 3PO grumbles a bit and argues that it is the astromech of the pair that gets distracted, which R2 disagrees with. They find a fruit vendor that offers 4 Jogan fruit in a canister package for 4 credits per fruit, rather than 1 credit apiece. R2 protests that as galactic robbery, but 3PO feels they don't have a choice. Apparently overhearing that they really need the fruit, the vendor suddenly changes the agreed price from 16 to 32 credits, insisting that it's the best price he has today, but 3PO takes them anyway. As they start heading back with their purchase, a droid approaches them and suggests that they take a break at the nearby droid spa, a maintenance spa, for a cosmetic overhaul. R2 takes to the suggestion enthusiastically despite 3PO's protests, but as he races off to the facility, 3PO is kidnapped by Cad Bane's droid gang. While R2 enjoys the spa's amenities, 3PO is brought to Bane's hideout in one of the industrial areas of Coruscant, where his databanks are brutally scanned for information on the Senate building's layout. 3PO's memory does not contain this information, but 3PO mentions that R2 would know. Freaking idiot. 3PO. So Bane decides to change targets. As R2 exits the spa and finds 3PO missing, he is promptly pursued by Toto and Helios 3E. R2 hides in a dark alley, but after he hears his pursuers preparing to dismantle 3PO, he surrenders himself. After Bane obtains the information he's looking for, he has the 2 droids mind-wiped of the kidnapping and dumped back where they were snatched. The 2 droids return with their purchase, none the wiser about what had befallen them, just in time for the cake to be finished and served to the delighted Aang. Meanwhile, Bane travels to Tatooine and delivers the plans to his employer, Jabba. Jabba, however, immediately offers Bane yet another assignment and contacts the Grand Hutt Council for a private conference. Bane's new mission is to free Ziro the Hutt from prison, as he possesses confidential information which might prove fatal to the Hutts should the Republic authorities get their hands on it. Bane readily accepts the job. End of episode 1. So, this was a this was a silly episode.
This is a very silly episode. And also, like, I don't know, like, I love the kind of, like, side-by-side of, like, R2-D2 going through the most luxurious car wash you've ever heard. And then C-3PO just, like, getting tortured over, like, an acid pit.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah. What an image. It was like funny how like incredibly contrasting their experiences were. R2 gets a spa day while C-3PO gets literally tortured.
Yeah. Also,
thanks again to our sponsor, Drive-Thru Car Wash. This first one through this episode of the Clone Wars. Yeah.
I love it. Can we also just point out that, like, the plans that Jabba wanted was just the schematics to the Senate building, which, like,
that was weird to me.
Are probably public knowledge.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's weird. I feel like they said it was just the schematics, but I feel like more realistically would probably be like the schematics, but also the plans for when senders are going to be where and whatnot. Like
that's probably more like
they didn't say that, but that would make more sense.
It does make more sense, especially given the context of the whole arc. But also, it's just like a very silly like droids versus droids kind of thing, and all with like the whole premise of like C-3PO and R2-D2 have to go get 3 or 4 apples in like a tennis ball canister to garnish a cake for a senator. Like it's just very very over the top and silly.
Yeah. It's funny to me that this is the errand in the middle of which they get kidnapped and tortured, and
and also while they're arguing about like R2-D2, you are more likely to get distracted than I am. Like, no, I'm not. Ooh, spa.
Exactly. Yeah. And then freaking 3PO is like, I'm not the kind to have schematics and whatnot. That was always R2's thing. Like, you idiot! You're being tortured by somebody for information, and you just told them where the information is with your friend.
Oh man,
you idiot! Anyway,
you fool!
Thanks, 3PO. You fool!
You fool!
So that's episode 1. We're ready to move on to the next episode.
Yeah, the next one goes all the way back to season 1.
Season 1 is the last episode of season 1.
Yep, Hostage Crisis.
So this is us finally finishing season 1 of the Clone Wars.
We can check that box. We're done. All right. So the moral of Hostage Crisis is a secret shared is a trust formed.
All right.
On a punishable offense. Danger looms! Despite recent victories in the Outer Rim, criminal minds plot at the very heart of the Republic. The bounty hunter Cad Bane has assembled some of the deadliest criminals in the galaxy and plans a daring attack to seize members of the Senate. What can be the aim of this despicable act? All right. What could it be?
This animal who I did see.
There it is. Cad Bane and his crew of bounty hunters, along with a few droid enforcers, arrives at the Senate landing zone where they meet a host of Senate commandos who, not happy with their unauthorized arrival, tries to arrest him. However, the three commandos are sniped by Aura Singh from long range, and the rest of the bounty hunters overwhelm the members of the squad. A commando droid fools security into thinking that the Senate commando squad has taken care of a group of protesters against the war before promptly taking their uniforms. Aura Singh and the rest of the bounty hunters then meet the group on the landing platform. A few levels above, in Senator Padme Amidala's office, her husband, Anakin Skywalker, offers to take her somewhere in the galaxy for a few weeks where no one will recognize them, but Padme is too focused on her work. Anakin then gives his lightsaber to Padme to show that he trusts her with his life. However, he has to hide as C-3PO and Senator Organa enter the office. Padme quickly takes the lightsaber off of her desk and hides it in her sleeve. Organa informs Padme that they must meet in the lobby to discuss the Enhanced Privacy Invasion Bill. Meanwhile, after Bane and his crew take out the rest of the Senate commandos, the team goes down to the control panel room and subdue the droids there, leaving Robonino?
That's probably right.
To get the power down. The bounty hunters then leave to talk to some senators. Suddenly, once all the senators have gathered, the bounty hunters surround them and take them hostage. Senator Philo attempts to leave only to be shot by Bane in the back. He then communicates with Chancellor Palpatine, demanding the release of Ziro the Hutt from captivity. Palpatine refuses to do so. Unfortunately, Bane proves his point by locking down the entire building, severing all communication with the outside, and then takes each of the senators' comlinks. And before searching Padme, Bane notices Anakin in the upper level, shooting at him, forcing the Jedi to flee. To ensure Skywalker cannot escape the building, Bane orders an IG-86 Sentinel droid and Shahan Alama to get him.
Shahan Alama. What a name.
What a name. Anakin manages to elude his pursuers and hotwires a terminal to communicate with Palpatine. The Chancellor advises Anakin to get to the central power core where he can reach out for help. Anakin manages to disconnect the transmission and hide before the bounty hunters find him, then uses a mind trick to convince Alama to check the two other floors. As the hunters split up, Anakin follows IG-86 Sentinel droid and manages to bash it into submission. Alama comes back down to check, finding the droid's mangled remains. Noticing no lightsaber slashes, he quickly figures out that Anakin isn't in possession of his lightsaber. Alma reports his findings to Bane, who sends Singh to assist Alma in the search. Anakin manages to locate the power core, but a panicked Robonino shuts the door behind him. Coming up behind Anakin, Alama attempts to subdue him, but Anakin is able to retrieve Alama's blaster. However, Robonino, with the help of Singh, shocks Anakin into unconsciousness. After receiving instructions from Bane, Palpatine gives a pardon chip to Senator Orn Free-Ta, the worst, which can be used to break Ziro free from prison. Arriving at the scene, Helios 3D retrieved the senator, taking him to the prison where Ziro was released from custody and shipped away. An unconscious Anakin is dragged into the lobby, where the bounty hunters begin to plant laser-triggered bombs. This enables the hunters to leave the Senate building unhindered, despite an attempt by Orn Free-Ta, Palpatine, and Clone Commander Fox's detachment of the Coruscant Guard to have them arrested. After waking up, Anakin receives his lightsaber from Padme, who plays it off as though Anakin had dropped it. Cutting a hole in the floor, Skywalker and the senators are dropped one floor down right before Bane triggers the bombs remotely due to the clone troopers' interference. Padme then thanks Anakin for his role in the escape. Having liberated Ziro from prison successfully, Bane and the hunters escape the vicinity. Ziro congratulates Bane on a job well done, but Bane states that it is time to pay up, pointing out that he doesn't work for free. End
of episode. And
this was a good episode.
It was. I like this episode. The the part near the beginning when Anakin and Padme are in their office, in Padme's office, and talking, and Anakin's like, Obi-Wan told me when he gave me this lightsaber is your life. And I was like, and then you lost it like 12 times. Yeah. Whatever.
It makes for good dialogue.
That was funny to me.
That's fine.
It does. It was it was good. I just thought it was funny to think about.
Yes.
Yes. There were multiple times when Padme had the lightsaber in her sleeve, and like Cad Bane was like standing right next to her, and I was like, you could just ignite the lightsaber right now and kill Cad Bane where he stands, and he would just, But then of course she'd have to explain like, how do you find the lightsaber? But I feel like again you could just talk that off as, oh, I saw
Anakin dropped it.
Anakin dropped it. Yeah,
the same.
Which she does later. Already does. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, the other moment I really liked in this episode was when Anakin finally wakes up and gets free of his shackles and gets his lightsaber back, and he's like, "All right, don't worry, everybody, I've got a plan." And and then he immediately just starts cutting a hole around all of them, and like none of them are like, "Wait, what are you? Hold on." He's like, "This is my plan: is to cut a hole in the ground and have all these senators fall a story down."
Yep. I love how they all none of them fall gracefully. They all just bounce on the ground, and, are probably all injured, not dead, but definitely injured.
I mean,
also,
I think that's an Anakin.
I think it's kind of cool that this is a move that Ahsoka uses all the time, which means she probably learned it from Anakin.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Yeah, it was just it's a very it's a messy plan, but that feels characteristic of Anakin Skywalker plans, is that they're like kind of harebrained and a little unconventional, and they might be a little messy, but they work in the end,
right?
Ultimately, so yeah. This was a fun episode with some cool we got like a sort of like a heist situation and a hostage situation, and we got like fights and chases and like of course the whole like Padme trying to hide the lightsaber and figure out what she's gonna how she's gonna deal with this, what she can do with that. It was just a fun episode.
Yeah, so
it's good.
It's good. Should we move on to the weirdest episode of the arc?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Also, in context, this is the worst moral of all time.
It's true. So yeah, the moral for this episode, the season 3 episode 9 of the Clone Wars, Hunt for Ziro, is love comes in all shapes and sizes. Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, then impenetrable defense.
You sound so excited.
I'm just tired. A great escape. Cad Bane and his notorious crew of bounty hunters liberated Ziro the Hutt from a Republic prison after holding the Galactic Senate hostage. The Jedi Council has assigned Obi-Wan Kenobi to retrieve Ziro the Hutt with the help of Jedi Knight Quinlan Vos. Unknown to the Jedi, we find Ziro in the clutches of the 5 Hutt families on the distant world of Nal Hutta. Alright. Following his liberation by Cad Bane, Ziro the Hutt has been brought to the swampy Hutt homeworld of Nal Hutta, since he is holding critically incriminating information about the Hutt crime lords, stored in a holo diary whose location only he knows. Ziro ensures his own safety by claiming that if something happens to him, the information would immediately be sent to the Republic authorities. However, Ziro has an ally in the singer Cy Snoodles, which, man, the fact that this episode, one of the main characters in this episode is Cy Snoodles, the singer from Return of the Jedi, is so funny to me.
Yes.
Like, just the weird-looking Muppety, yeah. Yep. Anyway, delightful. Ziro has an ally in the singer Cy Snoodles, with whom he had entertained a romantic relationship. After learning that Ziro is being held captive in the Hutt stronghold, she secretly visits him. Ziro exploits her affection for him to have her break him out, and the two escape into the swamps to the abode of Mama the Hutt, Ziro's grotesque mother.
I didn't realize that was her name.
Yeah, neither did I. I thought he was just calling her Mama because she's his mama, which is true, but also I guess she's just called Mama the Hutt, which is amazing.
That's the best.
Yeah, Mama the Hutt, Ziro's grotesque mother, which rude, but also, I mean, you're wrong.
Yeah, no.
All
shapes and sizes.
She is, yeah. Yeah, if if Jabba the Hutt is a giant slug, Mama the Hutt is like a giant slug. She's
substantially
like 5
larger.
times as large.
Yes.
Yeah, she's huge. Anyway, who provides him with a starship so that he can travel to Teth. On Coruscant, Obi-Wan is entrusted by the Jedi Council with the task of retrieving Ziro and bringing Cad Bane to justice with the help of the skilled, but rather free-minded, crazy, and Wikipedia describes him as rather free-minded, crazy, and impulsive Jedi Master Quinlan Vos. I love that they include the word crazy in there.
Yeah.
Whose company is not exactly a delight for Obi-Wan. Nevertheless, Vos is well informed about the possible reason why Ziro has been freed, so they travel to Nal Hutta. The Hutt Council denies any knowledge of Ziro's and Bane's whereabouts, and Obi-Wan is reluctant to confront them openly since the Republic owes the Hutts for their contributions to the war effort. But Vos states that they could have freed him to Gardulla's resentment. He then detects Ziro's presence by psychometrically scanning a cup Ziro has drunk from. As the two arrive at Ziro's detention cell, they find him already missing and promptly attempt to track him down. Shortly afterward, the Hutt Council also learns of Ziro's flight, and once more Cad Bane offers his services, for a fee, to retrieve the renegade Hutt. I love the fact that Quinlan Vos uses his psychometry to this is an ability that we don't see very often, but it's been established before.
Yeah,
it's the idea of being able to pick up on something. Basically, it's like seeing the past through an object.
Yeah, it's like objects have memories, and he can read those memories, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and in Dark Disciple, they use that a lot, and it's like a really cool plot device in Dark Disciple. It's super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
yeah. They also use that in the Star Wars Jedi games, Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Cal Kestis has psychometry, and he uses it it's basically this game's way of doing audio logs where you go and find in other games you might find a tape or a diary or something, but in this one it's like
the Tears of
you
the
find
Kingdom.
An object.
Yeah,
honestly, kind of. Yeah. You go around and you find a dead stormtrooper or a strange artifact or something, and you click on it and it plays an audio of a memory of that object, and it's a cool idea, and one I think that is. I like that there are kind of more Jedi abilities that we don't necessarily always get to see, but every once in a while we get to see them, and it's oh yeah, that is the Force is more than just pushing things, Yeah, it's that's cool. Okay. The two parties successively follow Ziro's trail to Mama's abode and learn of his intent to get to Teth. In the meantime, Ziro and Sai retrieve the diary from its hiding place, the grave of Ziro's father. But then Sai, out of greed and a grudge against Ziro for having abandoned her, turns on the Hutt and blasts him to death. Rip Ziro the Hutt. I forgot that he died in this.
Yeah, I didn't.
I forgot that this was the end of Ziro the Hutt.
I was I saw he got shot and died. I was like, is that? I thought we had more Ziro. He's just so memorable that I could have swore he was on a lot more of the Clone Wars.
Exactly. I'm kind of sad that we won't get more Ziro the Hutt in Clone Wars. Anyway. Okay. The Jedi and Bane meet beside the corpse and immediately begin to slug it out between themselves. While Obi-Wan intends to bring Bane to justice for the Senate hostage incident, Bane is tempted by the reward for each dead Jedi delivered to the Separatists. The Jedi press Bane hard, however, and he barely manages to get away with his innate skills and the help of his droid aide, Toto. But while this is going on, Sai delivers Ziro's hollow diary to her true master, ... which is... It's Jabba.
It's Jabba. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't include that in the thing. It's Jabba.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, end of episode. End of arc. So... This is a like you said, a weird episode, but there are also some really cool things that happen here.
Yeah.
A couple moments that I didn't point out during the summary that I want to go back to is when I love the moment when Sai goes down to get to Ziro's cell and she walks up to the guards and she's like, it's very, very easy. There are two guards standing guard in front of this door.
The big old green pig guys from the original trilogy.
Yeah. Exactly. And she's like, which one of you guys is stronger or something? It's a very simple, she just goads them into fighting each other, and they just start punching each other, and she just walked past them. And then there's a third guard directly in front of Ziro's cell, and she's like, those guys are fighting, you should stop them. And he runs over. It's like, wow, these are some useless guards, aren't they?
But then when Obi-Wan and Quinlan get downstairs, they find all three of them just dead. Like
they all killed each other, I guess. Yeah. Or Sai took out a little blaster and killed them all. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like to think that they all just killed each other. All three of them somehow.
Yes.
Like they all stabbed each other at once in like a triangle formation, and they all fell down.
Yeah, like that one scene in The Office, like where they're all just like are all holding like guns at each other, like the finger guns. You know what I'm talking about?
I know, but also that's like a cinema trope. That's not like The Office thing.
I know. I just think of The Office when I think of that trope.
Cool. Gotcha. Yeah, the Mexican standoff sort of situation.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, and then one part that Wikipedia kind of breezes over is the fight at the end between the two Jedi and Cad Bane, which I thought was a really cool fight.
It was a really cool fight.
We got lots of big jumps and flips and some lightsaber fighting. There's a moment where we get to see Cad Bane using a lightsaber against Obi-Wan. I thought that was really cool. Like they actually, for a moment, he actually holds a lightsaber and like blocks a couple like swings from Obi-Wan before he gets knocked out of his hand.
Yeah.
But like that was cool. And then there was another moment where Obi-Wan was using both his and Quinlan Voss's lightsabers at the same time. That was cool.
Yes.
And of course it was cool to see like I was when I was watching this with my friends earlier, one of them was like, yeah, Cad Bane basically just has like anti-Jedi powers inexplicably because he just like he just never able to like. None of the Jedi are able to get an upper hand on him with the Force or anything, which I think is funny, definitely. But also, I think that I like seeing Cad Bane as a, we've described him before as kind of like Batman in that he's got a lot of gadgets and he's always prepared to counteract his enemies' like strengths, basically.
Oh yeah.
And so like he's got his he can like shock his enemies, or he's got like flamethrowers, or once his pistol gets blasted away, he still has like some like little blasters in his wrists, I think. And,
like a lot.
And he's got his jet boots, and
a lot of what he has is kind of Mandalorian inspired because the Mandalorian armor and fighting style and weapons were all designed to combat Jedi. Right, that's why they they use Beskar. That's why a lot of times they use actual bullets or flamethrowers because those can't be stopped with a lightsaber.
Yeah, that sequence actually reminded me quite a bit of the in Rebels when Sabine is learning to fight as a Jedi. Like she's using the Darksaber, but she's also using like all of her different her Mandalorian tech and like she's got a flamethrower. She's got her like little grappling hook thing. It's cool to see like a cool combination of weapons and tools and things being used in combat to kind of overcome what would otherwise be a serious disadvantage.
Indeed.
So that was cool. Yeah, and then there was one moment when like Cad Bane's hat gets knocked off, and I'm like, oh god, his hat! He's gonna have to get a new hat, and he like jumps in his ship, but then right at the end, Toto comes back and is carrying his hat with him. I was like, okay, good, he got his hat. Where's my hat? Yeah, this is a fun episode. Definitely weird. Just like because of all the Hutts are weird, and then also Sai Snoodles being in like a relationship with a Hutt, and like just the mechanics of that.
Yeah.
Like it was weird seeing them kiss because it's like Ziro's like mouth is like 4 feet long, and then Sai Snoodles has like this tiny little like pair of lips on the end of a rod, basically.
Yeah.
Like on her face, and it's such a weird contrast, but it's like, I guess love does come in all shapes and sizes.
I suppose it does. Oh, man. Man, this was such how do we come up with like a favorite part of this arc? Because it's all so very weird and different. Yeah. It like it's with one story, it's one connected story, but like they all feel very distinct and like separate in a way. It doesn't feel like three parts of one. It's like it doesn't feel like 3 parts of one episode. It feels like 3 episodes that happen to be connected by a plot. By Ziro the Hutt. Like that's
basically. Yeah.
And Cad Bane.
And Cad Bane, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. Our favorite moment of these episodes of this arc. I mean, we already mentioned a bunch of like moments and sequences that were good. I'm just trying to think of like
if there's one standout.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah. I mean, I liked the fact that Quinlan Voss used psychometry. That was a cool moment. I was like, oh right, I forgot he has that.
I think honestly for me, my favorite part was just Quinlan Voss being here. And like getting to see Quinlan Voss in action.
Quinlan Voss is such a fun character. He's just, he's like very confident and cocky and kind of. It was cool actually to see like the relationship between Obi-Wan and Quinlan because like, at least in this relationship, Obi-Wan is very much more the rule follower, and he's very like, I feel like they're both like charming, but they use it in different ways.
Oh yeah.
Obi-Wan is very like he likes to kind of take the diplomatic route as best he can, and try to do as little damage as possible. Whereas Quinlan Voss has like very little like, he's unconcerned with whatever like damage he might cost. He's just like he walks straight forward towards his goal and doesn't stop until he gets to it.
Right.
I love the moment when like Quinlan like they walk up to Mama the Hutt's house and Quinlan just like slashes through the door and pushes it down, and Obi-Wan's like, somebody lives here, Quinlan. What the heck? It was funny.
It was very funny.
So yeah, favorite moments. I don't think I have one, but like,
right.
Yeah, they were good. There was a bunch of good moments. I guess I would say like the final fight at the end between the two Jedi and Cad Bane. That was fun. I like that sequence.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go back to the script. Do we have an MVP for this episode, this arc? I feel like this is hard because it's like three kind of distinct sets of characters, except for like I guess you could say Cad Bane, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. Because Cad Bane's the only one in this whole thing who like consistently gets his way the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like I think it'd have to be Cad Bane. My only other like nominee, I guess, for MVP would be Quinlan Voss because he's cool, and I like that we got him in this episode. But like he comes back later, right? So we'll get more of him.
Yeah.
So, but still, Quinlan Voss is great. But yeah, yes, exactly.
Do it. Do it. Read it.
Which I do have the audiobook of. I just need to get through. I need to get to it. But also I have before that I checked out to kind of tide me over an audio drama from the library called Dooku Lost. Have you heard of this, Sam?
No.
So it's basically an audiobook, but it's like fully voiced and has sound effects and everything. So it's like a step above the normal audiobook, I would say. And it's designed specifically for that. It's like
most Star Wars audiobooks
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of a step above that, and it was designed specifically to be an audio drama and not like you can't get it as a book. It's like but the premise is that it's basically the framing device is that it is a Asajj Ventress. Asajj Ventress is the narrator character basically. It's from her perspective, and it's during her training with Count Dooku, kind of early days, and then most of the story is a flashback to Dooku's past as a young Jedi, basically.
Is that it?
Yes, there it is. Are you gonna borrow it? You get it? Cool. I have like 3 days left on it, so I need to finish listening to it before these 3 days are up, and then we can talk about it on the next episode or whenever we're both done with it.
I'll probably press it like the next day
cool.
or two.
Yeah. It's got I can't remember her name, but like it has the original voice actor for Asajj Ventress. It does not have Dooku's voice actor. Dooku, to me, like it's not a bad performance, but they just sound nothing like Dooku to me, which is a little disappointing. But like, beyond that, I've been enjoying it so far, and we get like it goes back to basically Dooku's childhood and like his growing up in the Jedi Temple, and it's actually a lot of it seems to be about. I'm not very far in, but it seems like a lot of it is about his friendship with Sifo Dyas. So, that's cool. Yeah. The early days, like the shenanigans of Sifo Dyas and Dooku, and yeah, it's cool. So
I like that.
yeah, so after I'm done with that, I will then listen to Dark Disciple, and it'll be great, I'm sure. I mean, then we can talk about that on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. So MVP this episode, Cad Bane. Cad Bane, my beloved blue-skinned space cowboy man. Stats: main character kills. Cad Bane kills one guy.
He does.
I think that's it. And yeah. He heals the I guess maybe they do kill clones, but like I was thinking the senator who like tries to walk away from the hostage situation, and he like shoots in the back. Yeah. Yep. So I'll say we give 1 to Cad Bane because I'm not going to go back and count the temple guards because I'm lazy.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then let's see. Lost limbs, none. Wilhelm screams, I didn't hear any. Unfortunately.
This
More
arc,
Star Wars is better Star
Wars. It should have had a
he should have had when Ziro the Hutt died, he should have done a Wilhelm scream. Which is, by the way, I love the fact that anytime a Hutt dies, their tongue hangs out. It's like it's a requirement. Yeah. It's silly and fun.
It's wonderful.
For a death, you know. More Star Wars is better Star Wars. How does this episode make the movies and the rest of Star Wars better, Sam?
I think we get kind of a glimpse into like the Hutt crime family, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Just kind of like a mafia style crime family kind of thing. Also, Quinlan Voss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Quinlan Voss. Yeah, What a fun, cool character.
Makes Star Wars better.
Agreed. And then I would say in the first episode we get a little bit of like Anakin and Padme relationship stuff, which is always nice to see because we don't get a ton of that usually. Right. So we kind of see what few scenes we get of them kind of being a couple. It's always nice to see. Yeah, agreed. All right, well that's the end of our main segment today. Sam, I believe we have some voicemails.
Ooh,
is it correct?
Ooh. Hold on. Ooh. All right.
Ooh.
These were sent in 18 days ago.
18 days ago? We're so on top of things.
Can Kick come out and play? It's Omega. Calling again in for Teak. It's actually not. Surprise! It's me. Just wanted to call in because it's fun to say Omega in Teak the way that Omega says it. So, wowzers. Good Bad Batch episode. That's all I will say.
Incredible. This is the best voicemail we've ever gotten. I love that you just used it as an excuse to say Amiga and Teak. It is fun to say. You're not wrong, Jason.
I love you so much, Jason. I love you. Thank you.
It's so good.
All right.
And yeah, not only that, we have a second one. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Wow. 2 voicemails in one episode. What is this? I'm back, guys.
It's true.
Apologies if people already know this, but this is just pure perfect strategic planning on Disney's part because the final episode of Bad Batch ends on May 1st, aka 501, aka 501st Division.
Oh.
Yeah. Mind freaking blown, people. Yeah. Kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. I did not realize that.
You're kind of cool.
He's more than kind of cool. He's just cool. That Jason.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That is a cool little. I didn't notice that.
I didn't either.
I'm excited. Yeah. Yeah. I like the. I mean, just in general, this season of the Bad Batch has been great. I think it's been very good. I saw that I think we've only got like 4 more episodes left, something like that.
No, we got like 7. Right?
Okay.
6. I think because there's 15 total. And we just did episode 9.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyway, I saw some stuff online about like some reviewers have already seen the next few episodes, and apparently they're like among the darkest, but also among the best of the episodes this season.
Oh my gosh!
I'm excited to see what that'll be about.
Gosh. I'm so scared, but I'm so excited, but I'm so scared.
So much good Star Wars. Listen. I'm curious to know like what, because obviously like this, however the Bad Batch ends, this isn't going to be the end of all of these characters. Like I don't think all of the Bad Batch is going to die. Like maybe some of them will. Like I hope not, obviously, but like it'll probably be like the Bad Batch themselves, they disband somehow. But at the very least, I cannot handle it if they kill Omega. They're not going to kill Omega, right? But like even if they
can't,
if the slight possibility exists, I'm like, no, don't. Right. But also, I want to know, like, I'm very curious about what like future adventures Omega will get into after this. Like, what's her situation gonna be like? Like, is she like? I would love to see Omega show up in future Star Wars stuff and kind of contextualize what her journey is like in the later eras, like later in the Imperial era, or like during the Rebellion, or post Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I'm curious.
That'd be so cool.
So
yeah, I started having this fear in the last couple episodes, but I think Wrecker's gonna die. Because I feel like he has had such like a lot of like growth and maturation. He seems to like be the only one who's got his head on his shoulders straight the entire time somehow. And
yeah,
I don't know, like for the sake of like Hunter's like character growth, I see that Wrecker like because Hunter's been leaning on Wrecker this entire time, and I'm just afraid. I hope it doesn't happen. That'd be awful. But like,
yeah,
this is my fear.
I'm also afraid.
I am afeared.
I love all these characters. I don't want any of them to die.
Correct.
But we'll see. It's a final season, so you never
and it's
know
a
what's
Star War, Jack. It's a Star War. War means war and shoot 'em ups.
War never changes.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say
Star
it again.
It's good for good. Say it again. Yeah. Thank you for calling in, Jason. It's always great to hear from you.
Thanks,
especially when you're doing your Omega impression.
Please do it again. I need more of that. I laughed very hard, and it made my evening. Thank you.
If you too would like to join in the discussion or give us your Omega impression, leave a voicemail at 512-850-6653, and we might feature your comments, questions, corrections, or impressions on the podcast. This has been a fun episode. I'm looking forward to getting to talk more about the Bad Batch after we get some more episodes, this week. And talking about more, talking about Dooku Lost once we're both through it, and talking about Dark Disciple once I'm through that. I'm excited.
I'm looking ahead. We're getting into some really exciting episodes in the next couple.
Oh, for unlimited content. Yeah. Because next week we're talking about... join us next week when we'll be talking about the Clone Wars Season 3, Episodes 10 and 11, Heroes on Both Sides, and Pursuit of Peace. I remember Heroes on Both Sides being a good one. That's one that stands out in my mind, so I'm excited about both of these. It's going to be a good arc next week.
Yep. But then...
oh, geez, yeah.
Then we get
Senate Murders after that.
Senate Murders, and then after that we get our first Night Sister arc. And then we get, the Mortis arc. We get
the Mortis. I can't believe the Mortis arc is coming up so soon already. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. But do we get Maul in the Night Sister arc? Because we get Savage in the Night Sister arc.
I don't know. I'm trying to. I don't know. we'll have to come back to it later. Because Monster is about Savage, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see, I'm looking ahead just because I'm. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't. It looks like at the end of this Night Sisters arc, they hint towards it's like Savage Oppress goes to find Maul at the end of this, so we don't see Maul yet until like I think Maul shows up in season 4, maybe.
That makes sense. Cliffhanger.
But yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you again next time. Have a good rest of your day and week and whatnot. Stay safe. Don't do spice. Get good sleep. Drink water. Read books. Stay educated. Tell your family you love them. Call your mom. Hi, Mom, by the way. How's it going?
Hey, Mom.
I should call you.
We love you.
And may the force be with you all. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
All right, cut the chatter. Roger, Roger.